Now, your Storm Tracker 5 forecast with meteorologist Tim Jones.
Well, so much to talk about in just a short amount of time, but we'll get right to it. Much needed rainfall. Unfortunately, we got some severe weather, but not a lot of damage reports coming in. That's good. And of course, we skirted any chances with tornadoes, which was never a risk today for the most part. Just mainly large hail and damaging winds. You can see the last 6 hours, these thunderstorms getting going here. Our first warning coming just about the 4:30 time frame, and just moving right through the Grand Island, York, and Hastings area, where a lot of these storms trained right along a cold front that sagged around the area earlier today, and still does, as a matter of fact. Just taking a wider view, here's the way things look currently, and none of this is severe. And the good news out of this, other than maybe some small hail and some gusty winds, and of course lightning, we're getting some much needed rainfall out of this from Kearney through Grand Island, back up to Columbus, down through Interstate 80 to the west of Lincoln. You folks over to the east of York, over by Lincoln and down to Beatrice, you're going to have to hold on for a while because this front's still hanging out right here around the Tri-Cities. So central Nebraska getting lucky after all those times over the last couple months of avoiding all this heavy rainfall. We're finally getting some. As you can see, a flash flood warning in effect down Norton and Phillips counties here, just down to the southwest of the viewing area. Well, part of our viewing area, but southwest of Hastings. You can see Alma and Franklin. You can see some of this rain still falling in your area. Taking a closer look from Nelson back up to Edgar, Geneva, and up over towards Harvard as well. So we're getting some much needed rain. And again, none of this is severe. And also Stromsburg back to Ulysses, Central City, getting rain as well. So let's take a look at some of these storm reports here. You can see the little dots here, that's hail, and then the wind here stepping down here around Phillipsburg, that's what the wind report looks like. So anywhere, and these reports obviously, in order to be severe, have to be in excess of 60 miles per hour or larger than 1-inch hail. And I've seen some reports up to 2 inches. And most of these reports here in the viewing area came right around the Tri-Cities, and oddly enough, right between Grand Island and Hastings, where most of them came in. Also, the heavy rain. Now, this is Doppler radar indicated. This is one look where you can see from York, right in between Grand Island and Hastings, right back to the southwest to Alma, where some of this heavier rain fell here. And even though these aren't official reports, this is Doppler radar indicated. Some of this was as high as several inches, 3 to 4 inches, with lighter amounts on either side of that. But we'll have some, Nathan Gogol will have some exact amounts coming up in the morning. As you look through Grand Island, you can see the wet roadways and the wet parking lot here. And it's been a heck of a light show as well. If you've had a chance to look outside the last couple hours since the sun went down, you might have saw something like this. And Amber, thank you so much here near Hastings for sending this in via Twitter. So we really appreciate your pictures, and a lot of you cooperated, and you'll get more chances to send us pictures like this. As the severe thunderstorm watch here in effect until 11 o'clock, really chances have waned quite a bit in the last couple hours with that flash flood warning in effect down in north central Kansas. As the temperatures right now, you can see a lot of 50s and 60s around the area here, but still a very muggy night out. But that'll change as cooler air ushers in from the north, and those dew points will go down, so it'll feel less muggy around the area tomorrow. And those winds still, for the most part, out of the east, and we're still seeing some southerly winds here in the warm sector, but also a warm front kind of positioned over this way, cold front down this way. So those northerly winds will bring some much cooler air into the picture tomorrow. As we look at that zone forecast, you can see 60s and 70s around the area up to the north here, and 70s around to the southwest, although I think some of these numbers are coming in a little high because I've got us here in the upper 60s, but I could see some 70s coming back in the picture down in northern Kansas and back to the east, so low 70s. So this might vary a couple degrees, and obviously I've been focused on other things here, and some of these numbers get updated by the computer. So if you don't reach low 70s, it may be closer to upper 60s. As you can see here, I've got Grand Island, Hastings, and Kearney right in the upper 60s, with 70s returning the picture on Friday, and then we're cooling down back to this, well, a little bit, to the upper 60s to 70 through the weekend. And I got to lay this out there, and this isn't a definite, but keep a little note in your forefront of your mind Saturday and Sunday where we might get that severe weather threat again stretching up into Nebraska Saturday and Sunday, not just Sunday now. So I'm seeing some trending that way, and that could bring the T word to the area too. So we need to keep an eye on that. And then as we get through the weekend, we'll be back to much cooler conditions Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So it's not set in stone, but we had our first bout with severe weather tonight. Obviously just wind and hail, but at some point we're going to get the tornado threat. And if it does happen this weekend, we'll obviously be here. And, you know, it's not set in stone, but
right.
It is a possibility out there. So I don't want to freak anybody out.
Keep an eye to the sky this weekend. And we did have some power outages actually across the area tonight.
Southern Power District reporting outages near GI Caro area, as well as other 7 counties. They even say be prepared for the possibility of losing your power tonight because of the heavy rain they're seeing.
Out there
And thanks for the help tonight. Sorry, I didn't mean to
Oh,
interrupt
of
you, but
course.
you know, just having myself and Travis being off, and of course Gogo was around, but he's working this morning. It's always nice to have some help here in the Weather Center, so I really appreciate it.
Anytime. I love the weather. And
Okay.
also there was an outage tonight at the Grand Island Mall.
Yep, that's for sure. Lights were out. Coming up, injuries from a car accident or fall can be damaging to the brain.
Recovery time from those injuries can take years. A new study says work in the classroom can get you back on your feet faster. That's in your Family Health Cast next on News 5 at 10.